bottomless stupidity. The fools.
Something troubles you, Destro? The world is not yet at your feet.
Not one nation has surrendered. This one must take a vote. That one wants to take it under consideration. Don't they realize they're dealing with Destro?
Oh, I'd say they all know that, and it doesn't frighten them in the least. Yes.
Today on the channel, the Retro Card Series, Walmart exclusive G.I. Joe Classified reviews continue with Destro, enemy weapon supplier, on Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
Hello everybody out there in action figure land, and this is the Sheriff at Way I Got It Figured. We got a new G.I. Joe Classified Retro Card Series review, this time Destro. Destro has always been one of my favorite characters in the G.I. Joe lore. When I was a kid, one of the loose figures that I got in my collection of G.I. Joes was definitely Destro in 1983. And every chance that I got, I played with him. I always thought he was a pretty cool character. So today we're looking at the retro card version of Walmart. I know the picture's a little far off, but the card is rather large. So I'm going to bring it in so you can get some more detail. But there's Destro and his equipment here. And this figure, of course, is a repaint of the original G.I. Joe Classified Destro. I do have a Destro here. Obviously, it's loose. This figure's kind of old right now. So I'll be doing kind of a comparison with that version of Destro. And we'll take a look at everything, the differences, and which one perhaps gives you a better feel, is evocative of the character, and perhaps what you might want in your collection. On the back, of course, we have the cross cell, and we have the file card above that with the much maligned multilingual packaging, cross text, and no disrespect to any other country, they have to read file cards too, but I liked it back in the day when everybody got their card translated in their language. It didn't have these cheesy versions. So yeah. So I'll get Destro out and we'll take a look at the differences and look at the figure and then the differences. Alright, so here's Destro with his included accessories. I already put his pistol in his holster and his, whatever that is, laser something in his hand. Right off the bat, we can see what I would say this Destro and all the G.I. Joe Retro Classified series, the carded versions for this first series, are more evocative of the original toy release from 1980. Whatever, Destro's case being 1983. I say more evocative, but not necessarily exactly that. They also sort of have kind of this Destro's doing a lot here, to be honest. He's more evocative of the toy, but he's also evocative of the cartoon. So in the show, Destro had gray boots. His boots were not black. The original toy, everything on the figure was black except for this area, his chest, it was all black. And the gauntlets were silver. His hands were actually, the toy's hands were actually black, but on the box they weren't. They were silver, like on the package here. But the toy, I'm just speaking of the physical toy. I was enamored, probably mostly of Destro when they released it by way of the chrome that they decided to use on the head, but it looks like they changed. It's the same chrome as on the old one. But he has painted eyebrows, so I don't know. That's definitely a cartoon thing. This is his little collar, his popped collar is all red. It was red on the inside and black on the outside on the original figure and on the original classified figure, as we'll see here in a second. And while I mean, it looks like Destro, it's more black than necessarily gray. I'm not so sure that I like this one all that much better than the original, but we'll compare them and see how they line up. All right. The briefcase, of course, there's a difference there. Paint apps that you lost. The Cobra symbol on one side of the briefcase was painted, and on the other side it wasn't. On this one, it's just all black. I'm putting that down to his backpack that he had that was also a briefcase on the 1983 release. It was all black. There was no painted Cobra on it. And there was no Cobra on it at all, but it was a flat black briefcase. Still opens, still has detail on the inside, still painted on the inside. There's some money here, or is that explosives? I don't know. I think it's money. Destro's got a lot of money. As the head of Mars. All right, so let's bring in the original classified series Destro. So here's the original classified series Destro right next to the retro card Destro. And so let's just note real quick some things they have here. It's a tale of two paint apps, quite honestly. So this Destro is much more lavishly painted. He's got a gold chain, which the original one had a silver chain. So that's probably more accurate, again, to the toy. His belt has more paint apps on it. It's like almost like a gunmetal gray. All of this is red as opposed to gray, red, and then now partially black. The pistol itself was gold, kind of a man with a golden gun vibe. His knee pads are gray. The boots are gray, but they're a darker, that gunmetal gray kind of gray. And then he has steel tips. And then his gauntlets, which he does have, but they're not straight silver, they're gunmetal. And then of course you have on his outfit, just to break up the colors, they put these gray highlights in the outfit. Again, he's got the red here and black there, and the gray highlights on the back. And then where the heads are concerned, putting their heads together, they're both Destro. They both look good, but one has painted eyebrows. And the original does not. And honestly, it's kind of hard to say what I like better. I mean, obviously, more paint makes a figure stand out, but the original toy certainly didn't need any of that stuff. He was just kind of cool, just as he was. They even painted the gun. So the gun, the laser gun, that's what I'm going to call it, has paint apps on it. The Cobra briefcase has paint apps on it. And originally, Destro was not marketed as a Cobra anyway. He was just marketed as the enemy, Destro. Because he was sort of like a, he was his own guy. He was the enemy weapon supplier. So when I look at this, it looks more like explosives and less like money. So the paint apps, I would say, in the retro card release are probably a bit superior. You can see the Mars here. So it's got, Mars, and the keyboard is painted, but the Cobra symbol is not. Whereas the screen is like kind of blank here, and the Cobra symbol is painted, but the keyboard is not. And the money has more monetary detail on it. So I'm probably gonna, from just a display purpose, you're probably not gonna have these things open. So I still gotta give the win kind of to this one. But, but it is nice detail to have inside the briefcase if you're gonna have them displayed with the briefcase open. So that's your comparison of both Destros. I don't know. I do still like the original Destro. I do. I don't see anything wrong with them. And I really think that the paint kind of things that they did, just little embellishments, are keeping him sort of in the running, so to speak. But I don't hate the retro card version. I just don't. I mean, he looks evocative of Destro's toy and evocative of the cartoon in a way that one doesn't. So this one is more like an actual update, an updated Destro, and this one is more like a retread on the old version of the toy. So it just kind of depends on what you like. All right, so we'll take him out, and I'll give final thoughts. So final thoughts on the Retro Card Series Destro. It's kind of like a plus or minus. I can see having both or either in a collection. I really can't decide which one I like better. The Retro Card version also does come with a battle stand, which is a new kind of thing they got going on with that. So, maybe you want a stand, maybe you don't. He doesn't really need a stand, as you can see. So what I'm gonna say, where I got it figured, Retro Card Destro, I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10. Destro was a great figure when he was released in 2020, and this figure It really just kind of keeps up that same tradition with just a little bit different aspect on how you, you know, how you look at them. Sometimes paint makes a figure better. Sometimes paint doesn't necessarily make it better. I do like a little the somewhat more muted colors, but it's certainly because I'm used to seeing Destro with muted colors. All right, so we got a couple of more of these retro card figures to go through throughout the week. But in the meantime, there'll be some Marvel Legends and Transformers to go along with them. So I'm going to sign off. If you like the content, please subscribe, give me a like, leave a comment. I do respond to all of my comments. So I'm going to sign off here, and until next time, this is the Sheriff on Way I Got It Figured. Everybody stay safe.